Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Monday the 10th of July. A cold day with snow in the morning. Things were covered with snow. The sun came out and within 3 minutes the snow was gone and it was just damp. Now it's cold and there's load shedding. So we're outside doing the best we can, keeping out of the wind, but with leaves blowing around and the sound of the wind moving the leaves. But we're still here with God reading His Word. And today with McShane we read Joshua chapter 12 and 13. And chapter 13 begins, "When Joshua was old and well advanced in years, the Lord said to him, 'You are very old and there are still very large areas of land to be taken over.'" And as I read that I thought, here was Joshua. He's now very old. And he'd begun his ministry as a young man, an assistant to Moses. And he was commissioned to lead the Israelites into the promised land, and he was going to divide the land up between them and essentially take the land for them. He's now very old, and there's still very large areas of land that haven't been conquered, that they still have to take over. In other words, he has not succeeded. And in the world today, that would be a mark of failure. You didn't succeed, that means you failed. Joshua, you're a failure. And we so often look at ourselves in that kind of light. We want to do this, we don't quite get it right, I'm a failure. And that starts weighing on us. But it's interesting as you read Joshua and you read the scriptures, God doesn't berate Joshua. God never calls him a failure. Because God's not looking for success. God is completely successful. He doesn't need us to achieve anything for him. So he doesn't look for success. What he looks for people, what he looks for in us is faithfulness. Are we doing what he commissioned us to do? Are we walking in the way he called us to? Are we loving in the way he commanded us to? Are we doing what he told us? Not are we being successful. God doesn't worry about success. He worries about faithfulness. And so as we go through life, we need to hold on to that we may well not succeed. The world might look at us and think, oh, you're a failure. But God doesn't look at that. God looks at us and says, are you faithful? That's what counts in his perspective. So hold on to him, follow him, remain faithful, and keep trusting. Remember that as we walk with him, we are blessed.